Salazar is, I mean, let's say a Garner name. So it's a tool for what, Salazar? Okay,
Yeah.
so that is the question. So I was thinking in this week, because of I used ChatGPT in order to understand what are the recommendations in terms of backup
Yeah.
contained in the NIS 2 regulation, DORA, and so on. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, and there is let's say a phrase or a name that came across, which is enterprise risk management.
Risk management. Okay, there's an entire sector just talking about this. No, the risk
Yeah.
management.
So I think that Salazar is a tool that I think can fit into the enterprise risk management tool. So it's a tool in order to manage and reduce the risk related to the backup.
The backup.
I mean, not the backup. It's like related to the in the backup area. Okay, so
Backup.
it's
Yeah,
the
we are
data
not talking
protection.
about the physical thing. That is a thing that we need to
It's
communicate
the
clearly.
data protection area.
The data
So
protection. Yeah.
one of the, I mean, in an organization, there should be a enterprise risk management process, I would say. Okay, not a tool, it's a process.
It's a process. Yeah. Right.
The goal of this process is to reduce the risk, improve to improve the cyber resiliency of the organization, of the enterprise.
Yeah.
Of
The
the
stability,
company, right?
security, and trustfulness from the clients and stuff like that is important. That's
Correct. So Salazar is a tool that fits into this area, this let's say commercial name, I would say.
Okay,
so
okay.
The enterprise risk management solution focused on data protection area, backup area. So
Okay, let's talk about the data protection, because for sure, as communication, as we see, I don't know if you already saw the interviews and the reports that have been made.
More or less, yeah, a little bit.
You see that we have a great problem about the talking about backup directly, or at least the operators, the people that work directly with backup and seeing Salazar. We know that they are not our target, but if we show to them this kind of stuff, they try to solve problems. No, they try to see a more direct communication on what I need to do next when I saw a problem in Salazar. And that's the mind. So we can see an operator that tries to solve problems that he needs to go to net backup, Vim, or whatever to solve the problems. But we also have some Matteo Cataneo. I don't know if you know him, but probably yes. He tried to solve it in another way, or to see the whole picture and understand that thing is not there, that he need to solve the problem. You see the mentality of our kind of users.
Yeah, the target users are not the backup operators.
Exactly. Exactly.
At all. So the Salazar is not built, has not been built for the backup.
It's a service manager thing. The
Salazar
thing.
Even increase. So C-level, cybersecurity information offices, and so on.
CISO and so on.
Yeah, correct. So using the enterprise risk management tool. So in order to do that, all the features that we have to build should be let's say built for that. So one of the things is that one of the thing I saw into the field.
Yeah.
One of the problem is that the business functions share IT infrastructure. So, for example, the same Oracle server is between two different business functions, like let's say payroll um,
Even on
and
big companies, as you already
no, no,
tell.
in yeah, yeah, even in big companies. So maybe a yeah, virtual machine running a let's say a application server. This virtual machine, this application server is shared between two different business functions. So and that is not a problem. This is the company, the enterprises or the organizations do that in order to improve the efficiency, right? So
Okay.
to sharing the to spreading the cost among
Maybe
different
there are related
yeah
activities on
to
both data servers.
yeah, or because I mean instead of installing two different application servers in two different virtual machines, okay, let's share the same application server, the same virtual machine to provide the functionality to two different business functions.
Yeah.
That's fine. Uh, the problem is if one of, I mean, if if this component fails,
Mm.
the impact is bigger than you have two different application servers.
Yeah.
If the application server is not shared between two different business functions, okay, so it's like a balance. So there
A
is no
balancer. Yeah.
yeah, there is not a right answer. It's like, okay, you can improve the efficiency, but I mean you can, yeah,
Since you're sharing
increase
both
the, yeah, if you increase the efficiency, you probably increase the risk of the, I mean the impact
on the
of
other side
the
also.
failure of this component. Okay,
Okay.
so what Salazar can could do is is like is like sending a signal. I mean a red flag. So
I can warn
usually I don't
the
know.
CISO of what is
Hey,
happening on the
you
service.
this asset in Salazar is being served by five services. So if this element, this asset is not being protected right way, I mean
Okay.
in the proper way, you'll get a big problem. So it's not the same if one virtual machine is running for just one service that if the same virtual machine is shared between 10 different servers
Okay.
services. So the impact, I mean, the failure is the same. So you can delete the virtual machine, for example, but the impact in the organization is totally different.
And this right
Good.
now, you think we are mapping this with just the RPO and RTO and showing this information for the system management or
No, we are not showing that the relationship, but we can do it
we can do it?
because
Okay. It could be a feature
if
then.
correct because so we know we have the asset, we have the services, and we know the RPO. Okay,
And
for the asset
from the
and the
domains
service.
from where they're coming, so we know the servers where they are located or the file system, whatever. We know where they are.
Correct. So whenever the information is into Salazar, we can say, okay, we can graph, I mean, so or something
Yeah, we
like,
can make
or
relations with these informations anyway.
yeah, you have three different services pointing to the same virtual machine or to the same
The same
Oracle
domain,
server, for
okay.
example. So if you can define a limit, an efficiency limit, let's say. For example, let me know whenever the same asset is shared among more than five services, for example, something like that.
Yeah. This can be
So
defined by us as an structural thing, or is something that a CISO or a service manager should define.
yeah, it's like the RPO, the desired RPO. So this
Okay.
has to be defined by the organization, but
Okay.
because this also impacting the um, yeah, you can say, okay, more than five is a warning, more than 10 is a red flag, for example,
Okay.
something like that. Because maybe they can make the C level can take actions on this red flag. For example, they can make a decision to put another. application server and spread the the risk, yeah, or, in two different
Place into
virtual
different
machines
services. Okay.
instead
Structures.
of one, for example.
Okay.
That could be a
A proposed solution
uh,
from Salazar, as I say. You show the problem where it could be and propose how
yeah,
kind of you can balance these problems inside your
yeah, because
services.
in a very big complex system like the IT of Telefonica,
Imagine.
yeah, the problem is that it's so complex that the failure of one component usually
Impacts.
provokes impact in many different services or
Okay, other service, other
components,
assets,
ornaments.
another assets. Okay.
So, and most of the, I mean, many times, organizations discover a new dependencies
Okay. Also, this thing, the
when
dependencies
a
in.
fail,
Sorry, go on.
no, when a failure occurs, when we got
A
a
failure, okay.
failure, usually the customer discover a new dependency that was not known in advance or before the failure.
Okay,
So we can say, okay, we are trying to provide the dependency map
okay.
in advance.
This dependency map is something that we got from the servers directly, is something else on levels of management. What is exactly for you? Where we can find this kind of information on dependency map?
The dependency map is uh, so I mean, the dependency map should be created by the organization,
Also,
should
okay.
create it and maintain, but it's very difficult
Okay, this is
because
something that any other tool provides right now. There is some competitor that you
from
saw
the
this.
data protection perspective, as far as I know, no.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so I mean, so yeah, I mean, we can call the feature like a dependency map. Okay, the dependency map is a very big important thing for another thing. For in order to let's say to do the disaster recovery.
Okay,
So one of the um, one of the things you have to know before start a disaster recovery of a business function, for example, the very first thing you have to know is the dependency map. I mean, which components are belongs to this service, in which order I have to uh, I have to recover the components,
yeah, this is
because
something that we're missing on Salazar. The order of recovery and stuff like that is not determined inside because we're just checking the RPO.
yeah. But in Salazar,
We just
I
show the
mean,
critical service, the critical services that we can prioritize.
you can, but I mean, critical is like a high level. Is like when you mark the critical service,
You
a
worried
service
about
as
that those
critical.
assets, yeah,
Yeah, but you are in the high level organizations. I mean, on the top.
yeah,
So in order to recover your company, these are the critical services.
sure,
That is the meaning of critical
yeah,
service.
yeah,
But we have another level, below this high level is the
yeah.
okay within a service you have an order.
But right now we don't
Okay,
map this kind of stuff actually.
no, I don't think it's needed at this time.
Okay.
It could do it. It can be do it, but this is something that is not. We cannot infer the map, the order from the backup information.
No,
We
from
need
the
the
service management. So from the who determines
correct.
these are my priority. Okay, I gave critical, but in sequence, if I need to check on some follow up procedure, as you say, if one fails, we don't know where this impact on the other assets, on the other services that we have below. Maybe on company side, on the service management side, it's desirable to just point, okay, if this fail, check it after this second critical thing. So it's a dependency order, imagine, as you
Yeah,
said, no?
yeah, correct. Yeah. So, for example, if you want to recover I mean, if you have been hit by the ransomware, which services do I have to recover first?
Okay.
So, I don't know. The Active Directory. Okay, this is the first one. The second one is whatever other services. So there has to be a priority list.
Okay.
You cannot start. So Salazar can help on, let's say, identify this one thing. So to create the dependency map, it's important to manage the risk of sharing IT infrastructure elements among different services. So this is enterprise risk management, pure
Sure.
enterprise. For the disaster recovery plans, for example, this is something that the company has to do, or has to have in place.
To organize, yeah.
Salazar can help um, in the one, not for all the not for all the disaster recovery, but but can help in identify also the dependency and the elements that belongs to the service you want to recover.
Yeah.
From the backup perspective. So, okay, let me say, let's suppose that the logistic business function has been hit. So we have lost most of the IT infrastructure that supports, that runs this business function. So, okay, which elements are? So which servers, which virtual machine, what database I have to recover, for example.
Yeah.
So if you have defined this in Salazar before, you have to go to Salazar and say, okay, this. That's all.
Okay. Right now, this is a thing that I was seeing when you upload some kind of asset or create a domain inside Salazar. We do not have a clear interface that show all the assets that you're importing in that exact moment. You know, right now in Salazar, when you're trying to insert a domain, you, Pablo, knows what have inside that domain. But when you imported that link or that name, because right now we created domains with names. It's not something defined. It's not an IP. It's not a file service address on your network. It's not something clear. But when you place it there, you don't have a feedback. Wait a bit, I'm loading all the assets I'm having found on this server. Like when you are on the Sky TV, you click there, you wait for all the scansion of the service and see what you have inside the channels you have inside Sky, for example, on the TV. Inside the Salazar, because you're already working on them. But Salazar platform doesn't give this feedback. Like, okay, with this domain, what you found inside gave me the assets you finding inside by type, like a list,
But but Salazar, you can get the list of the assets discovered in the domains, okay, and you have the domain filter, so you know where the asset comes from, right? So you can get that information, but from the Salazar point of view, because the idea of Salazar is to abstract as much as possible the technicalities of the backup data protection wall from the non-technical person,
from the client.
So for a C-level, for a CISO guy, the domain is not important for him.
Okay.
The backup domain is not so important.
But thinking right? As the service manager, they also usually have names that they organize, that their company, they corporate stuff free. I think each company has its own kind of naming or label for these assets.
Yeah, correct. But whenever, so in Salazar, you have an agent running against different backup domains, right?
Okay.
So the agent sent the information to the backend, and one of the field is the domain where this asset where the asset come from,
Yeah.
right? So the information is there. Then a service manager can organize the services
Mm-hmm.
in using those assets, even from, I mean, a service can have many assets coming from different domains.
Sure.
Fine. So that is totally fine, and you can do it right now in Salazar.
Yeah. No, the point
Uh,
I said was just to when you place the domain, you don't have a feedback. Okay, I found that this domain, since we are installing Salazar on the client, you see the domain where it points. You know, at least to say, okay,
but
this domain exists.
yeah, but it's the other way around. So you have to onboard the domain.
Okay.
So you don't discover domains. You onboard the domains into Salazar.
Okay,
Right.
explain better this process here, because when we install Salazar, we know we have an onboarding sequence, no? So first you installing. I imagine you go to the set to the
Yeah, you
client.
go to the you. I mean, you whenever. So I installed Salazar.
Okay.
Okay, so Salazar is like, okay, the Salazar API and the web. Okay, that is the main component of Salazar. So the onboarding process is described in Salazar in the welcome page. So that's fine.
Just also
So
one
you have to.
just one clarification: the installation of Salazar is not on open web. It's not something from the web that you install on the machine. You install on the machine, and that's all. It works internally on the intranet, right?
Yeah, correct. In a server that is running inside of the customer
All right.
at this moment. Okay, at
Yeah,
this
yeah. It's
moment.
not a
I
SaaS.
mean,
It's something local,
that
so it's business enough.
we could deploy it as a SaaS product,
Okay.
but right now
It's
we are
not
not
interest. We
interested.
need clients to
No.
test and see what the needs, real
Yeah.
needs on them.
So I installed the Salazar, the backend and the web, create a domain, and let's say we can technically I have to let's say configure the Salazar agent to gather data from one domain
Okay. This configuration
for the
of the
new domain.
agent is made locally when you install the Salazar on the machine. It's
Yeah,
not
correct.
something that you
So
see on Salazar interface.
no.
Okay.
I have to install the binary,
Inside
create the
the
config
setting.
file, and then the agent gathers the data from the backup server and upload the data into the backend.
Great.
Okay, so and all the, let's say, the hard work is done by the agent.
That you don't see actually working. You don't have inside the Salazar its configuration. You just
Yeah,
see the name there.
yeah, correct. This is the agent. That's all.
All
Okay,
right.
and you can see if the upload has been successful or not. That's all.
All right.
Okay, so dependency map, that is one
It's
feature.
something interesting.
Disaster recovery plan is like a bill of materials, I would say. It's like so the bill of material is, okay, in order to recover this service and this service and this other service, you need to restore these assets.
Yeah.
So, and it's the very first thing you have to do in a disaster recovery plan. So a customer could use or can use Salazar just to get the bill of material for a disaster recovery plan.
Yeah. Because at the end, Salazar is there for the disaster recovery stuff. So if you have some kind of problem, Salazar should be the first alert to the CISO to say, take a look.
Yeah, the Salazar is like to reduce the risk of a disaster recovery scenario. Let's say you are, So
Okay.
if you have the bill of material in order to restore the business transit,
The
the
business,
service,
yeah.
and you don't have to look for it, you don't have to guess. what are the
Where or what?
components I need to recover? Okay, it's time, which is money. Could be a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's not the same to recover. So if you spend 2 hours just to know which IT components I have to restore, instead of
You lessen money.
1 minute.
Yeah, this is another thing that we saw on the interviews, that sometimes some of our service managers ask stuff in minutes, not in hours, like we are is the minimal unit that we set RPO on our service. And they said, I think rightfully, that like in a bank, you can't permit 30 minutes or even 1 hour of data
But
loss.
yeah. But when you are talking about minutes, you are not in the data protection, traditional data protection field.
Okay.
That is another thing. So
Okay.
it's like that is more like a business continuity.
Okay.
So you cannot, let's say you so for example you have a 1 terabyte database size, 1 terabyte size database.
Okay.
You cannot. It's very difficult to get a minutes RPO with a traditional backup software.
Okay. But even like saying half an hour, 30 minutes, it's
Yeah, I
something
mean we can
strange.
define minutes, I think,
Yeah.
or 1 hour. So I mean we can. The RPO ranges are not so. It's not.
Yeah,
It's not a problem.
the time of data loss in that period. We know that is that the backup is
Yeah,
a
but
metric
if you
to
want, yeah, but if you want to get, I would say, RPO lower than 30 minutes or so, you have to use another tools, not a traditional backup tools. So maybe you have to get a replication between among two different data centers and this and so. There are other tools, but they are not traditional backup software,
okay.
which is so Salazar is focused on the let's say traditional, yeah,
Yeah,
the,
yeah,
the backup software.
the backup job. Because also we talking with the service manager, etc. Some of they talked about automation, virtualization, and other terms that I don't know. As right now you said, maybe are not our targets. Working also with this kind of scenario of
Uh,
virtualization and other kinds of automation on this area of the data
I mean
protection.
that so that could be a long term, uh, so a place where Salazar could get.
Could be.
So because we can get okay, so from if you can so in order to provide, let's say, resiliency to a service, usually you have to use many tools, many processes. So there is not, I mean, it's not just backup, traditional backup. It's more. There are more things. So replications between databases or storage array, or I mean, there are, let's say, different solutions that all together provides the required resiliency. So it's when you move from the traditional backup to, let's say, clustered replication solution and so on, that is not disaster recovery of the 10%. It's
Okay.
more like, okay, we are moving or we are entering in the business continuity, for example.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so many big customer has a different site,
Way of doing this stuff.
a different site that all the data that is running on the site A is replicated to the site B synchronously or with a small lag of time, just in case, because if they have to switch
They
the
lost less
services
data
from the site A to
to
the
the
site
server B.
B. Okay, so but this is not backup.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Salazar
another
is
thing.
it's not. We can. I mean, I would like to get there, but I don't think we can get there in 6 months.
No. It was just a mention that I do because I saw our main interviewed people talking about this as their daily job. So I know that's not our scope right now, but I think that maybe it's also part of the data protection area. So imagine that when and how Salazar could also help these people on this kind of system that you know how it works.
Yeah, from the whole process to provide cyber resiliency, we are on the last resort. So Salazar is focused on the backup, right? Traditional backup. This is the last thing that a customer wants to use in order to restore the service.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they would. I mean, the customer prefers to use other things built before in the path that are placed before in the path. So clustering, high availability solution, business continuity, replication. So, but all those things, all those, let's say, processes or tools are all together provide the resiliency for a service or for an organization.
Okay, for the visibility
So
of the
Salazar,
service.
Salazar could evolve to that point, and I like the idea because if we are able to provide this information to a customer, it's like
it's something that you see on your client right now.
There is no one able to do that, and if you provide a C-level person the cyber resiliency dashboard, let's say, panel,
good name,
of the organization, just one click. So
everything
it's like,
there.
okay, this is the more abstraction layer we can provide.
You can arrive. When you go to the clients right now, we are talking about Inditex with Mariana. There was a very specific thing, but even on Intesa or another banks like or telecoms that you went down there, the usual problems that you see with them, because even also repeating the reporting that I saw, the interviewers talked about I could say about the need to set up the RPO. We know that they do this maybe once each 6 months or each 3 months when the companies are big or something like that. They establish that business level information, and then they doesn't control anymore. It's like an information that they set. This is the risk. Don't pass it. And with Salazar, we are monitoring everything all the time.
Yeah. And the last feature we want to introduce, the distribution panel of the RPO. This could be useful in order to maintain the RPO definition.
Okay.
Okay. So let's suppose that. So if whenever this feature is available, let's suppose that I connect the first domain.
Okay.
Okay, into Salazar. So we'll get the distribution of the RPOs on the domain without doing anything. Okay,
so you see the margins of the percentiles.
Yeah, correct. The percentage, correct. So what if I am the let's say the C-level person, so I log into Salazar and I show the percentile distribution. I mean, there's a percentile, okay, and I understand quite easily that for example, the 70% of the assets are or have an RPO more than 24 hours.
Okay.
That's it. So
it's too much for what you need to do.
You don't have to do anything, just one click.
Okay, this you see as a business manager, you see that you have that percentage of your services that are on that from your assets.
You know what? So it sounds like I don't know how to say it in English. 1 second.
Dígalo en español.
Pretencioso.
Pretencioso, pretentious, okay.
Salazar um, Salazar es tan disruptivo que no piensan que sea posible.
Ok.
No lo pide porque no crean que sea posible.
Perché no other people around shows this as something that they control on the software. There's something they calculated on an Excel, place it there, and that's enough for them.
But it's like, okay, this is the best thing I can get right
Okay.
now. So nobody thinks that it is possible to get a real RPO, current RPO distribution. This is something that the managers
and the
are not
managers
thinking
see
about.
this as a real important thing. We can change their mentality on the real importance of monitoring this all the time.
Yeah. All the managers monitor the same. So the successful rate of the backup jobs, but the backup jobs, which is wrong.
Okay.
This is where Salazar. So you cannot. The most important thing is not to get a successful backup job. The most important thing for the cyber resiliency of an organization is answering the question: am I able to recover this service in less than
X time. Okay.
without losing more than X time
X.
in data? Yes or not? This is the answer that
Salazar gives.
answer.
Great.
But nobody does
This
this
yet.
so far.
Yeah, because just changing a bit the argument, we in the interviews also showed the new compliances. We are talking about IPA, we talked about ISO 27001. We talked about these other compliances, and I will be trying to find out competitors or at least some platforms or anybody that talked about this in a SaaS way. I don't know if you saw the link I shared that was the Vanta. There are some softwares that are trying already to arrive there, but they're not talking about RPO. Our way is another different from them,
Correct.
but they are
So
there on the compliance.
my understanding for the tool, the link you shared with me,
Yeah.
is look, okay. It's a tool that you have to upload an Excel file and
Organize everything.
Organize in a fancy way, and that's fine. But this is completely different. It's the other way around. So it's Salazar the other way. Yeah, Salazar is a bidirectional tool. So you have to define the RPO in the
Salazar, yeah,
and in Salazar, and Salazar will check your compliance level against the RPO you have defined in the backup environment. So it's doing. You don't have to prepare an Excel file and then upload. Salazar is doing it automatically.
It's switching the Excel. Even if Excel could be a competitor, this is a solution that you don't need to touch tables or load anything. You saw everything there. That's a good mentality to see what Salazar is doing for the company. Plus, we are monitoring all the time because we're searching the assets and verifying that based on your services all the time, giving you feedback all the time.
It's almost free to create the Excel file. It's almost free for you because the agent is running every hour. So every hour you get an Excel, a fresh Excel.
We're talking about time. Right now, there is no intention of create some kind of historical elements inside Salazar.
No, that is a thing I discussed with Julia and Carlo. So my idea is, okay, we have to build. I think that it's important to provide let's say historical. Okay, historical of what? Salazar. I'm not interested in to provide a historical on last backup time and so on. The most important thing that we have to provide, let's say, historical information we have to provide from Salazar is the RPO compliance level, or the RPO, I would say.
Okay.
So we have to keep it's like a time series database. We have to keep on day one, on September the 5th, the RPO at 7, for example, the RPO for this service was
Okay.
whatever, or for the RPO for the this asset is whatever. So at 8, another thing. At 9, another thing, and so on.
Because right
So
now the only data, historical data we have is like the backup jobs. We see the data when it happens, if it was successful or not. That's the thing that we check.
yeah, but we cannot. We do not keep
This
this information
information,
for
this
a
is
long
from the
time.
server. All right.
Yeah, so it's like okay. So, but because we don't want to, Salazar is not useful to maintain the, let's say, the configuration, the backup job. There are other tools that do that better
Okay.
than
Okay.
Salazar,
Okay.
right? But the thing, the information we have to provide on a historically basis is the RPO. So
Okay.
which RPO was at what time?
Okay. But as we are saying, thinking about the historical data that remains, having all these RPOs could also generate for us some kind of patterns inside the service or inside some kind of or from one asset specifically. So you see mainly how is the median time from that assets on that server, on that domain to make to recover the data, or the time to RTO, to the time that it was
I
lost.
mean,
Not
for sure, it's data. It's a numerical data.
is
For
always
sure,
data.
you can find some patterns. Okay, but the main, the main use of this historical data is like an auditor in or auditing purpose. Okay, so
Okay.
let's suppose that an auditor wants to know the how this service was protected 1 month ago, for example. So you can say this is the evolution of the RPO in the last 3 months. So on the first July the 1st is like 24 hours, 24 hours, 24 hours. On July 15th is like 2 days, something like that. You can draw
Yeah, but right
the
now this data we don't have because we are
no, we
pointing
have the
time.
information, but we are not keeping it.
Yeah,
So we
that
have
was
the
the point.
information.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we have the information. Whenever the agent uploads the data, the RPO is there. Okay, the data is there,
But for
but we are not keeping it.
yeah, to do what you said right now, to have this pattern, etc., we need to make some kind of modifications on our structure then, to see the data also from the past.
Yeah. We have to, let's say, create a time series database.
Okay, we need something else to see because right now it's the agent that's making everything and just showing some real-time
The
stuff.
last, the last information we got from the net backup or the backup
Or
software.
from whatever, Convolt or whatever we can
But
backup
this
it.
is the last one. We are
Okay.
not keeping all the data points from the last 3 months or 6 months or whatever.
Okay. Now, it was just a question just to see your vision about what we can do with patterns and stuff inside Salazar, you know? Because right now we show information. You see what is happening and you take decisions. But we don't help on analyze more than the right moment that you see in the Salazar when you open. So making maybe patterns could help, I don't know, the database administrator or the service manager to reorganize the assets, reorganize the services. I'm just imagining here, right?
But let's suppose if you think that everything starts from Salazar,
Yeah.
you change your mind. So let's suppose that that Salazar is in the center of everything around the backup data protection area.
Mm-mm.
So you can define a service, an asset in advance. Okay? Before connecting any backup domains or any backup domains, you can define this. So what you are gonna get is an error because there is no match between the defined RPO, the set. Yeah, there is missing information.
Missing information.
Fine. Okay, and this is an automatic. Let's take it. You are creating a virtual machine and on automatic basis. Okay, this automation process defines the asset, the service, and the RPO into Salazar. Fine. Even before that, this automation process configures the backup domain.
Okay.
To protect this asset. You can configure an automation process to check the status. This missing data, okay, in Salazar. If this automation process finds an asset that is not being configured into any net backup domain, Salazar could trigger, or this automation trigger, the configuration of this asset into the backup software, for example. There is another thing. So let's suppose that we have defined a service defined with an RPO, and for some reason this service is not compliant. You can monitor the compliance level and trigger a manual backup in order to recover this compliance level, to get green again.
Okay. So this is some information we can help.
This is how Salazar can help. Salazar is not gonna Salazar is not gonna configure the backup software.
Sure. We are just reading everything that is there, and that's the point.
We are reading. We are showing you the information. We are warning you about something that is not right, and we are allowing many other tools to integrate with me, collecting the information I got from the backup software in terms of RPO, and do whatever you want.
Okay. This do whatever you want, do you think that we can in some way structure what we can say to them to help what they want to do or what they can do with that information? Since it's something that you see on your client when you have this RPO or these information that you imagine we can get from Salazar.
So for example, most of the customers, the big customer, has an operation center, let's say, the level 1 guys. Those guys check if a backup job fails. And if it fails, what they do usually is to run a manual backup.
Okay.
Yeah, so restart the backup again.
Okay. But so this is something that Salazar doesn't say to you. Try to restart, try to see your backup.
No,
you don't
but you can configure. Okay, if for some reason your backup your daily backup has failed, you can use Salazar. Okay, if the service is out of compliance, run a manual backup. But you don't have a guy you don't have a person monitoring the net backup administration console to do that.
Exactly. Salazar could could be in that position to talk with the service manager to counsel what you need to do or what you're gonna do next when you solve the problem.
Because we have reduced the complexity in order to understand if we have to launch the backup again or not. So all let's say we have the Salazar agent is like we have to put my brain as a backup administrator into the Salazar agent.
Yeah.
And calculating the RPO.
Yeah, that's the thing I think we need to do. As you said, put your brain inside the Salazar to be something more talkative with the user that I had in front of the screen, seeing Salazar monitoring everything. So when you, Salazar, it's a brain that is trying to communicate with the people that's on the other side receiving information, tell them something more concrete, more indicative to help them to do something, not give just information and, okay, if you're intelligent, you know what to do right now. But if I'm in the intelligent things, if Salazar is the intelligent domain here, is him that need to give indications. Okay, go do that, try do that, help in some way. It's a good approach, I think, to even to
Yeah,
imagine maybe artificial intelligence or stuff like that that Salazar could transform the information also in practical communication to the service manager or any other level of users that we have inside Salazar, because we know we have the user basic that is just there to check the information. We have the administration, we have the auditors. We need to talk also differently maybe on each level of these with the people. So this is also something I'm worried about on how to communicate rightfully with each kind of user inside of Salazar or role inside of Salazar.
yeah, but yeah, but this is it is difficult because the difficult thing here is to find the right person, the right stakeholder, the stakeholder that that has a um, let's say a different mindset.
Exactly, exactly.
So it's not so usual. I mean, it's not so common to find this kind of people inside of organization. So it's like about, I would say it's like it's a matter of luck, I would say, to
Mm-hmm.
find, to get in touch with the right stakeholder into a customer. Uh, and that is let's say, a successful indicator for Salazar in any customer. Because you have to find an open mind, let's say, stakeholder that wants to improve the organization, change the way that they are doing so far, and be able to, yeah, to it, someone that is able to or willing to change how the things has been done so far. Okay, because all the customers in Spain, at least, I think in Italy and even in the world,
They're
but
in Europe or whatever.
do the yeah do the same. So calculate the successful jobs rates, which is
Enough
totally.
for them.
But this is what they do. They think that they cannot get anything better than this. And in order to say, okay, you can remove half of, I mean, not remove, you can um, redirect the effort you are using for monitor the backup job uh, with the Salazar. I mean, so you can reduce by a half the effort you are putting into monitor and launching or relaunch the backup, the failed backup job.
Okay.
But you have to find the right people to think, that is a good thing.
Yeah, no, because if there is someone that make that Excel that was we were talking right now and see the Salazar, the comparison is neat. You see that Salazar works on the installation agent. You good to go. So you have the monitoring without an Excel. That is maybe you can lose data. You can have another of other kinds of problems. And there you have something secure inside your company that monitor your corporation assets locally and securely. I don't know, ready to go. You don't need to copy and paste anywhere on an Excel. You can even export the CSV if it's the case.
And another thing we have to include. So in with NIS, DORA, and so on, so those regulations do not mention specific things on backup and data protection.
But there are some regulations specific for backup and data protection around Europe, at least, as far as I saw.
Yeah, but not the most important ones. So,
okay.
So no, I read the NIS two regulation.
Okay.
There is nothing specific. There is nothing specific.
Okay.
It's like, okay, you have to protect your data. Okay, fine. You have to follow the 3-2-1 rule. Okay, fine. But
the HIPAA, the high PAA, you saw
it. This is for US, I think.
Just US. You don't think that it could came also for our side here?
But I could be, but this is for. But it's more or less the same. So there is no. I have to review those.
Yeah.
This information, but it's like, okay. It's not very technical.
Okay.
You have to protect your data. That's fine. So Salazar has to answer the. So it's not about Salazar is not about technicality. It's like okay, Salazar helps you organization to reduce the enterprise the risk in your organization. So this is what your all those regulations are asking for. So
Okay.
are those regulations are mandating customers to effectively manage the risk to improve the cyber resiliency. This is what I understood after reading some of them.
Okay.
So fine, Salazar is helping you,
To
customer,
have that
to do
thing.
that, defining the RPO, monitoring the RPO, and integrating with other tools.
Yeah.
This way, you are managing properly the risk, reducing them uh, very easy
Yeah. Yeah.
with much less effort than before.
Yeah, that's an important thing to mention, that you're reducing time, reducing effort, reducing time of work practically on this stuff by giving them a data platform, a visual of all the information just one place. And for this part of the compliances, okay, that we don't have any kind of specific one for the backup. We talk about
But yeah,
data
but
protection.
but you know what we can say. I was thinking also. You can say this asset you can say in this asset there are personal identification information.
Information. Tag this information
So
that we got
yeah,
inside.
they tag the asset and the service with okay, this service and asset contains or has the tag of PII.
Okay.
So this is something useful also because this is something that the regulation are asking for also. So effectively manage this kind. So okay, let's suppose you have been you have been hit by a hacker. Okay, you can easily add in if we tag the services and asset, we can answer. Okay, those assets are have
Priority and have what to do
because
first.
they have PIA and so on.
Okay. Okay. So, as research, we can also try to find more specifically documentation, or this is something that you and Julia already done and knows specifically which compliances we need to use inside Salazar, or are they more close to what Salazar does, like IPA, DORA, the GDPR, and the ISO
I think
27000.
Julia and Eva wrote let's say a draft with let's say with a proposal. So with Salazar we can follow check this and
Okay.
this and this and this this article of the this regulation and this regulation. So you can get in touch with
Yeah,
Julia and
because
Eva.
we use it to make the first prototype of the future Salazar based on GDPR, DORA, and ISO. But I really actually read the documentation before that. It was a product required a PRD that arrived to me to build the thing. So from there we build a prototype. But the actual reason on these matters of GDPR related to the RPO and RTO, I haven't compared that yet. I haven't made this research on myself.
So no, but you know what I mean. So I read 3 or 4 of this
Okay.
regulation. Okay, they are very boring documents,
Keeping
and
evolving, right?
in fact they are so high
High
level.
level.
To recap, my recap is all of them are asking for are mandating to the organization to manage effectively the risk
Okay.
associated to the IT in order to improve the cyber resiliency and reduce the impact of any
For sure. Any
problem.
kind of risk
So
that could happen. Yeah.
the you know the term CIA.
Okay.
Okay, so the CIA is like so it's like insecurity. The CIA stands for confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So the backup is the backup software and the backup process is more focused on the availability of the data, also in the integrity, but is more important for the availability. How? Because if for any reason, so the availability means that a user have has to have access to the data,
Sure.
right? So if you suffer, I mean, you as a customer suffer any incident, whatever the origin it
Problem, a
is,
hacker, whatever, problems on the server.
you have to make sure that you can recover the data to provide the availability.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
This kind of stuff, where you can see this control, like the availability, where can we check this? We check directly on net backup, we check directly in Vim.
the the RPO is telling you is not the same, but it's telling you because if you have an RPO of let's
It's
say
timing.
24
Yeah.
hours, you have the possibility of provides availability to recover the
Yeah.
data.
But we're
So
saying just
whenever,
about the time that could happen and how much you lost in that time.
yeah, but you are able to recover data.
Okay. So this could be a
That
part
it,
of the A of the CIA.
correct.
Okay. The integrity right now on Salazar, we
The
can tell
integrity
some way?
is
No,
no. It's
is not.
more related to how to configure the backup systems
Okay.
in order to make sure that the backups to maintain the integrity of the backups
Okay.
of the backup copies, not the original data, but
Okay, it's
the
not related
backup copies.
directly with Salazar at this point.
No,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's the 33% of the of the work. So
No, 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 for sure. Having a real scope on Salazar helps also to sell it and say, look, that we are doing this work here. The collaboration with all the other platforms is another step
thing,
that you need to
yeah,
take.
yeah. Uh, so all those regulation, is like okay, you have to make sure you organization have to make sure that you are able to recover data, for example,
Okay.
and also that you have to make sure which data has PII, for example, because this is for the C confidentiality. Okay,
Okay.
so we can tag here. We can tag assets and services with this kind of categories that these
Okay.
regulations uh, uh, mandates, right? So PII or whatever other
And a rule or compliance.
category.
Yeah. No, great, great, great. I'll be thinking anyway on how we can transform the regulations, the language of the regulations inside also Salazar, on how we can associate the things. So this is
So
probably a
I
future
would say
work
we are currently helping in so in the A part right
on
now,
the availability.
and
Okay.
we can implement some new features in order to identify the confidentiality, I would say. So in order to the C, no, and to relate it to the C.
Okay.
So yeah, this is the PIA or whatever. So we can tag the information. It's not gonna. Yeah, it's like a enterprise risk management. So it's like okay, you have to in order to do a real and effectively risk management, you have to know what are the risks.
Mm-mm.
and where they are, where they can be, where they can happen,
And if you're
right? So
compliant with this thing, ready to any kind of risk that could happen, and you're ready to resolve the problem.
correct.
That's the
Yeah.
work that a compliance must do to you know. Like you make your company ISO proof is just to unify the process of something that you're doing inside your company. So I imagine
Yeah.
also inside the backup flow or the business intelligence organization, you have some flows that you need to be compliant to be ISO compliant.
Whatever. Yeah. Mm.
So I don't know. These inside the Salazar could be just information that you gave to fulfill these processes for these compliances, and maybe some could be some information that you give translated into this kind. I don't know exactly how this could flow, obviously, but we need to read and understand these compliances, like as we said, DORA, IPA, GDPR, etc. How we can transform inside a Salazar.
Yeah. I think that the Salazar, let's say, sits in the flow and helps to in order to prove that you are compliant. Salazar helps organization reducing the effort to prove this.
Yeah, you gave the information already there. Look, you need these informations to prove that you're compliant with ISO. So I gave you all the information you need for the ISO.
Every hour,
Yeah,
without without contracting with a
nobody looking around. You gave the information translated into a human information that a business manager or service manager could read and understand right from a screen without needing to ask anything. Fine, fine. I like it. This vision of what we need to do on the product, even to contact the companies, and also to, as you need to make some demos, show how this could be a jump inside the organization on the future, or
yeah.
on something very easy
So
easy
yeah,
to manage.
I had I had a I ran a demo for a Telefonica, the second one,
Yeah.
but with a different manager.
Tell us about
Then
how it
the
how it
new
works,
one.
your demo presentation, and how is the feedback from the
Well,
people.
I don't have a really script, but this time I was like I had only 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so I show, I mean, I present the very basic, I mean, the very basic, the main feature of Salazar. Okay, so this is the second time that this is the second time in this customer, but I don't know if I'm happy or sad, because
Okay.
I ran the same demo, but when the Salazar version was 1 year ago or something like that.
Okay, the first version.
Yeah, the very first version. So, but even at that time, the feedback was is like, okay, this is impressive. So so the manager I presented to who I presented the Salazar told if told if my manager see this, they buy it right away.
Hmm.
Even in the first version of Salazar.
And on this second time that you presented,
The same.
where are the
So
managers?
so this if this is very good, this is fantastic, it is a bad, you know, please keep this information the solo because because of this I'm not I don't know if I'm happy or sad, because the manager told me, please keep this let's say secret.
For who?
Do not for the managers.
Why?
For because they told me this thing. Please keep it secret, because if the managers show this, they will be buy right away. It's the second. It's almost the same feedback.
All
from
the
two
clients
different
say
persons.
the same thing, just seeing the RPOs on the
In this case,
sunscreen.
is the same client, is Telefonica, but two different managers, and
All right.
they haven't talked about Salazar before, so it's the same feedback. So I have to ask this manager, the new one,
Yeah.
why he doesn't want to
To buy
make
it.
this,
Because
even not to buy, just to say, guys, Pablo is showing me this.
yeah, because you're helping them to diminish the work. You're showing them that the Excels or the old way that you're doing stuff is not working and there is a better way of doing stuff. So if they understand this, what is missing to say, okay, I need Salazar or I want Salazar here? It's not a kind of a price thing, problem of price, I imagine.
No, even we haven't talked about price.
We need to
They don't
start
know.
talking a bit.
Yeah, of course, but it's like
Well, the
I don't know.
proposals that you do to them on the sales, what is, okay, I showed you, you see this is how it works. Wanna try for a month?
No.
You try to make some kind of installation, at least
I
have some data from them.
Yeah, I'm running the POC. So the Salazar is installed. I'm using Salazar. So it's like, okay, because I'm trying to get also the feedback from a real customer. So
Exactly.
that is gonna be for free, I would say. Okay. Because I think this is the best way. Okay, but what I was thinking to do is in the next week I'm gonna talk to this manager and tell him asking him why he doesn't want to make this public. First thing, so because it's important. If I talk to anyone, so the feedback is so good, but
Why not to share the thing, okay?
there is something wrong.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't know why.
understand
I
what is
don't know
the
what.
point here. What why a manager wants to show this publicly, and when he say about show it publicly, it's publicly internally of their company or public as a solution that anybody can
Internally,
use.
no, internally in the company, in the company to his bosses.
Maybe
This is the
because their
second thing.
bosses thinks that their work is just to make what Salazar does.
No, not really, but I mean, it's no, I mean,
It's a
they
part
have
of
to
the
do a lot
work.
of
It's
things.
simplifying the thing. So why not? They're not simplifying. It's making it better because you're getting something real time all the time when you open the
And
Salazar.
you are getting. I mean, with Salazar, you are getting something that cannot you haven't got before.
And you cannot do it by hand all the time with the same frequency or speed that you got in Salazar, because Salazar is that agent running all the time. Is something automatically done, right?
That is like, okay, you before Salazar, you have not the possibility to get this anyway. But I mean, anyways, you have not.
Yeah, you get to
It's,
write the Excel
you,
by hand or
you,
something or stuff.
but it's so much. You have to put so much effort into
Compile this information in one only place. That's is a problem.
that make it impossible. I would say
Yeah,
not
even
technically impossible, but
no,
because
it's
you have to
hard.
pay.
Even because we're talking not about one backup service like net backup we're talking right now, but we know there are a lot of ones, but you're making everything from each kind of these backup services, giving you the information. You're just giving this Excel ready for control and management, right?
Yeah,
This is the flow.
but I don't know. I have to talk to him next week just to understand why. And the second thing is, okay, this tool is not for free. But I don't as a Sorin, we don't not to make you pay for it right now.
We not have this interest. We need the interest to know what we can do better for you. So let's change information
But
and we got this.
at some point Telefonica will have to pay us something.
No, maybe you can set straight the dialogue like, okay, I give you 1 month trial just to test and you see how it
Yeah.
works, and then
There
we
is not
start paying at a monthly tax or a monthly fee.
no, even the cheapest product in the world.
Is
That
actually
is
it's
not a
not that the
problem.
point is for now, since we are also developing, let's consider them also partners in developing the solution, because their problems is what we're gonna evolve
So
the
yeah,
platform.
of
So we
course.
need these users, the real users on the platform.
So this is the second thing I have to talk to him. I want to talk to him,
No, fine.
hopefully. But the feedback is so positive.
Yeah, we when we have made the interviews, we also talked with some service managers on the Católica, and they also talked with us about someone Católica University, okay, not the financial
Yeah.
company, and they talked about some the CISO of the company, and maybe that's some contact that we can place Eva or you to go and talk with him and understand what their needs, or if they can have this kind of feedback from the platform once they see how it works and this kind of
So
information.
we can talk to the CISO of Católica.
Yeah. So it's a contact that I have been passed to us. So maybe set up an opportunity to talk with them.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to
Eva,
Eva.
talk with Eva because Eva had saw the name of the person, and since she's on the
Okay.
pre-sales with you, I think you can manage to talk with them, at least to have a first interview, a first presentation of the product. Okay,
Yeah. Fine.
I want to. I think I have a lot of information here, a lot of concepts that are clear right now, and I won't steal your time much more than this. But keep open whenever you need to exchange some kind of ideas to came on. Talk with Julia also, but also with us, just to clarify what we're doing here, because it's important also to developers to understand why we are doing this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
really also a stimulante, just
Yeah.
to keep ahead. Great, Pablo. I thank you. If you want to say
Thank you.
something else that you think it's important, I don't think about the client. I think it was the first thing that you talked, and it's very important for us. The vision of what the product will do in the future is something that I need to talk also and understand what we're doing, and also the environment where we are placing this product. So anything else you think you can tell us, feel free.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
not,
Sure.
next time. Okay. Thank you,
Thank
mister.
you.
See you next time.
Bye. 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 Bye.